How to rebuild your identity after brain trauma. One of the hardest parts of brain trauma isn't what you can't do anymore. It's not knowing who you are now. Not because you're broken, but because the version of you that once felt familiar no longer fits. And no one really prepares you for that part. After brain injury, stroke, or trauma, identity loss is incredibly common. You might still look the same. You might still function. You might even be doing well by other people's standards. But inside, something feels different. And that disconnect can be more unsettling than the symptoms themselves. If you've ever thought, I don't recognize myself anymore, there's nothing wrong with you. That feeling is part of the process, not a failure of recovery. Here's the truth. Most people never tell survivors, you don't go back to who you were before. And that's not a loss. It's a transition. Brain trauma doesn't erase identity. It reorganizes it. The old version of you was built for a different nervous system, a different capacity, a different pace of life. Trying to force yourself back into that identity often creates more suffering because you're trying to live in a structure that no longer fits. Rebuilding identity after trauma doesn't start with confidence. It starts with safety. When your nervous system feels overwhelmed or constantly pushed, your brain prioritizes survival, not self-expression. That's why many survivors feel quieter, more withdrawn, or less driven than before. It's not weakness, it's protection. Identity rebuilds after safety returns, not before. Instead of asking, who am I supposed to be now? Try asking, what values steady in this version of me? Maybe you're more thoughtful, more selective, more grounded, more protective of your energy. Those aren't losses. They're clues. Your new identity forms around what your nervous system can sustainably support. And confidence grows from consistency, not force. You don't rebuild identity by proving anything. You rebuild it by listening, by noticing what drains you, what steadies you, what feels honest, even if it's quieter than before. This phase isn't about becoming someone new overnight. It's about trusting who you're becoming. If you're in that in-between space right now, I want you to hear this clearly. You didn't lose yourself. You outgrew an old version, and you're still becoming.